Hi, I'm Shreya and this is Decoding Code. In this video, we're going to be talking about arguments that are passed into the main method of your program when the program is being executed. In other terms, command line arguments. And I will be doing this in the terminal. I know there is a way to do it in Eclipse, but I'll be doing it in the terminal. So that's what's gonna happen. And there are chances that you've seen this somewhere but didn't know what it was. And this is just kind of to understand what the main method can do as well. Let's get right into it. So we see here that I have a main method, and you can see here that it's just like any other method. It has some keywords and it has main because it's the main method. And also it has a parameter, which is this string array called args. And this is because if you pass in arguments, it'll put them in this array. So that means that you can pass in basically as many arguments as you want, assuming that your program will take them. And that's why in my program, I'm going through all of the arguments in that array and then doing what I want with them. So in my program, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just taking in a year and then putting out what that year is, if it's a leap year or not. So what I'm doing is, because it is in an array, it's going to be a string. So if you're working with numbers, then you need to convert that to an integer. Apparently, leap years are not just every 4 years. It's more complicated than that. So that's this code, which we don't really need to focus on. It's just some if then else statements. And then I catch any number format exceptions by just putting out it must be an integer, because that's really the only place where I can see there being an exception. So this is pretty simple. However, where do these arguments come from? See, this is where the terminal comes in. So if you go to the terminal, you can actually put in the arguments from the terminal and execute it from the terminal. So we're going to be doing that here. Now there is a command called Java that is going to execute this Java code. And then there are some things that we need to give it. So for this one, we need to give it the class path. So we need to say dash class path. And this is basically where you're going to have to direct it where your .class files are, just to show the code where you need to go. You don't give it the package name or the class name yet. You just direct it to where those are. So for me, this is where it is. I'm just going to copy paste that, but you can just use the commands to get there. Like cd, ls, pwd, all of that. I have another video on that if you want to watch that. Mine is in the bin directory, and we want to direct it to the .class files, not the .java files, because the .class files are the ones that are compiled and executable, and the .java files are just the raw code. So we put that in there, and then we want to show it the qualified class name. I'm sure you know what the class name is. In my case, my class is called leap year. But we want to give it the qualified class name, which is the package or packages that it's in, and then the class name. Well, the class name. So an example of this would be like java.util.scanner. And then, so this is what we're wanting to do even with our own classes. So mine is in the package input output, and then the actual class name is called leap year. So that's my qualified class name. So we're gonna put input output and then .leap year. And here's where you're gonna put in your argument. So for me, that would be, let's say I want to do 2021, and it's gonna say 2021 is not a leap year. I also want to maybe do another argument as well, but we can also do 1996. So it's gonna give me the, it's gonna run through the program for both of those, since I'm running through all of the arguments in the array. So I'm gonna say 2021 is not a leap year, but 1996 is a leap year. So it's gonna give me the results for both of these arguments. However, if you're dealing with a string and you have a space between them, but you want that to be one argument, then you can just enclose them in quotation marks, and that'll count that as only one string. I'm just gonna say eat this time. Obviously those are letters, so this should not run here. It says the argument eat must be an integer. So it's just gonna give me no, don't do that, because I don't want it to just like loop through and ask again, because this is just something that I can just run again and try with a different argument. So I really don't want to loop through or do anything like that. I just want to tell myself, I guess, that this isn't what it's supposed to be, and then just cut out of that. That's how you use command line arguments. Again, this is in the terminal, but you could also do it in Eclipse. I know there are some settings, things that you could do here. You can search that up if you want to. So benefits of using command line arguments: you're not hard coding it into your program. In this case, your program is depending upon an argument, but if you just hard coded something into this code, then it would be independent and could act by itself, if that makes any sense. So this depends on an argument to be able to run and to be able to do all of the functions that it can do. Also, if the argument is somehow changing or you need to do it a significant amount of time, then this is good because you can change it and then run the same program again. And it's kind of just like a function, really. You just put something in, the function does whatever, and then you get something out. That's exactly what's happening here. And you can also do it while it's being executed, because when it's being executed, hopefully you'll know exactly what that's being used for and what to put in as an argument. So that is basically it for command line arguments. Hopefully this helped you. If you need any more information or have any more questions, then stick that in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, like and subscribe to my channel to help me grow, and I will see you guys again next week. I upload every single Monday, so bye.